everybody. My name is Canan Sanatkar, and I'm studying to be a doctor of Oriental Medicine at Wongu University. I'm also interning at the Wongu Health Center. Today, I want to talk about how we can improve our lifestyle based on 5 elements, what actually the 5 elements are, and how 5 elements affects us in our daily life. As we all know, ancient people didn't have today's technology to guide them to understand meaning of life. Instead, they start observing the nature. When they observe the nature, they realize that everything around them consists of 5 elements. Water in the lakes gives life to trees. Trees burn and created the fire. The ashes from the fire created the earth. And the mineral at earth solidify and created the metal. And when the metal liquefied, it created the water. And they call this cycle cycle of life. In nature is based on 5 elements, and humans are manifestation of these 5 elements. These elements are, as all we know, is water, wood, fire, earth, and a metal. They play important role in many forms of our daily life. In Feng Shui, they are used to achieve balance so the living space can heal and nurtures. In macrobiotic diets, they help a cook to create a balanced meal, support health, and reduce craving. In physical activity, it helps us to find out what is the most beneficial exercise according to our body, because we see that all the time. Lots of people, they come to us and they say, hey, I'm doing all this CrossFit, for some reason I cannot lose weight. And so if actually we can go to 5 elements theory and we look at what's the correct exercise for them that they can do, it can really benefit them, which exercises that they can incorporate in their daily life. In Chinese medicine, also we do diagnose diseases according to 5 elements. So the resulting treatment plan will be like tonify the weak element or sedate the excessive element to restore the balance and order in the body. In psychology, helps us accept the people the way they are and understand a person's constitution. So how do we know what type are we? And there is a little bit of 5 elements in each of us, but we all have at least one dominant element. And this is said to be our 5 element type. And also it's important to differentiate that we can have a personality type and also a body type. They are 2 completely different things. Some people, they do have the same body type as a personality type, but some people, they do have different elements. So you can be a water personality type, but your body type might be a wood element. Knowing and understanding our elements can be extremely helpful, since it can help us to understand ourselves and people around us, why they are the way they are. The easiest way to understand which element we are, it's like in internet, we can see that we have so many personality quiz. My favorite one is by the longevityscenter.com. And the reason that I like this one, because it consists of 5 different segments, and all the segments, they have 20 different questions. So as I said before, that we all have all these elements in us. Some of them are more dominant. As we can see in this person is a water body type, water personality type, but has like the earth and wood and fire and metal in them. So because since the wood element is very deficient, it's very low, so it will be a good idea for them to work on their wood element, and then to eat the foods that they complement the wood body type, and then do the exercises according to that. I want to start with the water body type. So I wanted to make this a little bit interesting. That's why I included like the celebrities. As we can all see, here is the Leonardo DiCaprio. He's a water body type because he has a round face, and usually around water body type, they have a very soft skin, And because they do need to drink lots of water, so that makes like their skin a lot more softer, and they have a tendency to gain weight all over the body. So their favorite color will be black, and the seasons that is associated with the water element will be cold. The taste that they like, they tend to have more salty food that they like, and the organ which is associated with the water elements is the lower part of the body, which is the kidney and urinary bladder, which is known that we also include that adrenaline glands, because the adrenaline glands are the life of the battery. And for water element body types, is very important that they need to recharge. So, and for them, the most beneficial time that they need to relax and they need to do whatever they enjoy, it's between 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Their emotions is fear. So they are definitely not these people that they want to jump from the plane, or they have huge problems with the fear. The water element people, they are very creative. They are very self-reflective. They are the dreamers. They are very artistic. They are very easygoing because they want to flow like a water, and they work better alone than together. They are usually very deep. They are the most introverted sign, and they love reading. They love praying. They love meditating. They give the best advice because they are very good listeners, and they are very patient. So the water body types downfalls is that they get drained around too many people so easily, and if they are there for a long period of time, they are the one that they are always late. Not that they don't value other people's time, but they just live in a different time zone. So they might have like no motivation. They have fear of failure. And the biggest thing for them is that they do have fear of what other people they think of them. So disappointing others, they deal with that really badly, and they do have like lots of self-doubts. And when they are unbalanced, they become very withdrawn. They can be like very fearful. They have hormonal issues because like the water element, the kidneys are connected with the with hormonal problems. They do have adrenal fatigue. They have thyroid issues, and they have infertility problems, edema, low back pain, urinary issues, usually ringing in the ears, and mostly like bone problems. So in order to balance the water element type, it's very important to look to do what water elements needs. But if they are very deficient, they need to have a help from their mother element, which is the metal element. So like the water people, because they like to be everything to go with the flow. So in order to do that, they need to have a structure. So they need to, if they are good planners and organizers, and they tend to be clean and tidy, which they take this quality from the metal element, they can be very balanced, and they can enjoy life fully. The water body types, the diet is that, as we all know, is usually the darker vegetables and the darker fruits, like berries, the figs, the pomegranates, the grape, the dark seaweed because of the salty complement there, and spinach, eggplants. The beans are extremely beneficial. The walnuts, the chestnuts, and the eggs. The herbs that they benefit the most, the water type, will be Rahmania root, the black sesame seed, the ginger, hishavu, and adaptogenic herbs like ginseng, holy basil, or cinnamon, because they are warming, and the kidneys, they love the warmth. As a physical exercise, it's very, because as I said before, that it's, these people, when they gain weight, they tend to gain weight all over their body. So for them, it's a little bit harder to build a muscle, but they are very good with the endurance. So if they do the exercises that regarding like hiking, like biking or walking, bone strengthening exercises, they can, this can be extremely beneficial for them. And since they do age really well, they can do this for a long time. For the environment, also the design ideas for the water body types is that the fountains, the fish tanks, and the mirrors, if they, people that who are suffering from the water element, or they want something that in their life to be like more easygoing, to go with the flow, they should definitely bring these fountains and fish tanks and mirror type of things in their environment to have a more fulfilled life. The second element is like the, from the 5 body types, is the wood elements. So the wood elements, they are known as, they are the pioneers. So they are the people that they have the A-type personality. As we see here, like we see the Celine Dion. Celine Dion, she is very slender. She just has like a smaller frame and small bones, straight back, and they kind of look like the trees. Their favorite color is green. Their season is spring, and they are very sensitive towards the wind. They do like the taste of the sour food, and the corresponding organ to the wood element will be like liver and gallbladder, and the most important time for them is between 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. So somebody that who is a wood element and then is not sleeping between 11 p.m. to 3 a.m., that can generate some imbalances in their life. As their emotion is anger, and the qualities of like the wood elements, they are the one that they are the goal setters, they are the visionary, they plan everything, they have everything planned in 30 years ahead. Usually they are the go-getters, they are the task-oriented people. They love to make lists, and they kind of live in the future because they always tend to think about what they are going to do next. So that's what sometimes it creates anxiety in them. So the wood body types are, the downfalls for them will be, they are the kind of the overachievers. They can be the control freaks, and it will, sometimes they do have the attitude about that it's my way or the highway attitude. If they are unbalanced, they can be impatient, they can be irritable, they can be frustrated easily, and they can get angry. So they usually have like the anger issues. They tend to have the alcohol problems, wind disorders like Parkinson's, like tremors, and they do have, they can have eye problems and tendon and sinew injuries. So to balance them, they can eat lots of food that they can benefit the wood type, but also if they are very deficient, they might need help to take from their mother element, which is the water. And they, so for them to taking breaks, it's extremely beneficial, and or being around the water element type of people, they can balance life easily. So for them is also very important that they need to have jobs that they can thrive and grow, because these are the people that they can sit in one place and they can't, they don't like to be stuck. And so this is for these people, especially like, let's say during the pandemic, it's really hard because they don't like to be sitting home, because they are used to moving. They are just like trees that they love to grow. And the wood body types, for them, the diet will be, of course, that lots of green vegetables, and then less fat, because they might need, they are the people that they have problems with their liver if they are unbalanced. So if their liver is weak, it can't metabolize like the fats really well. So eating fats that they are more on the leaner side, it can be more beneficial for them. And especially fruits like green apples, vegetables like kale, spinach on the darker side, food that they are more sour, like sauerkraut, artichoke and lean meats, pickled vegetables. And if they can do the liver as an organ meat, can be the most power food for them. I tend to see like lots of people that they are a wood element like yogis, and they do have the vegan diet. So when they have imbalances, it's important for them to, when they are eating the food, to choose something from the water element like seaweeds and things like that, because even they are eating lots of green vegetables and all that stuff, but if they are mother, like if that element is deficient, their mother element, it can be like extremely more beneficial to them. So to take that salt taste, and it can really help them to get more out of their diet. And the herbs that they are the most beneficial for the wood type is like the herbs that they do more, build more blood. So things like white peony root, like chrysanthemum to calm them down, red dates, rose water to move their liver qi, and the goji berries. So the best exercises for this wood type people will be like stretching, yoga, tai chi, walking in the forest, because they tend to be already like extremely slim. And then so for them is that moving is the most important thing. Is if they do like hardcore exercises like running and things like that, they can deplete themselves more. And the design ideas for when they are doing their living spaces, the plants and wood flooring and the furniture, the sculpture, or the rectangular or columnar shapes can be bring some wood elements to in our living space, and see the wood element in our spaces. The third type is the fire element, and then as we see here, the fire element people like they love their red. One of them is Ryan Gosling, because as we can see, like his forehead is bigger than his chin. So they tend to have like more like triangular faces, and they have a really small feet and small hands usually for their body. And they love the summer. For them, like everything is about the passion. They love the bitter taste, and they usually like the organs that which are related with the fire element. It's the heart and small intestines, and also the protector of the heart, which is in Chinese medicine, it's the pericardium and sanjiao for the fascia. And the most beneficial time for them will be between 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And after that from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Their emotion is joy. They love to laugh. Their qualities will be, they are the most fun people. Like this is the people that you definitely want to include in every party. They are like the life of the party. They are very passionate. They do everything with love. They get super excited. They love to laugh. They can be hilarious, and they are like the clown. They do like to team play, because they love to be around other people, and they are the party animals. The fire body types is that their downfalls will be they need this constant stimulation. So most of them, they are kind of this coffee addicts. They can get easily distracted and bored. They can't focus too well, and so doesn't follow through and doesn't like to be alone. When they are unbalanced, they usually have anxiety issues. They can be overly dramatic. They can have heart issues, the circulatory issues, the central nervous problems. And if they are unbalanced, they can be resistant to love. And to balance them out, they need help from their wood elements, which is the wood elements, it loves adventure. So if the fire type of people, they do need adventure in their life. So I will definitely suggest them to do something adventurous for them, to if they feel they are unbalanced, and so they can have fun in their life and passion in everything they do. They definitely need to have a job that they love, because otherwise they are going to go out of balance. And the most beneficial diet for them will be blood building things that they are red in color, the vegetables like tomatoes, beets, grass-fed beef, they do really well with it, cherries, coffee, arugula, because it's the bitter taste, and dark bitter chocolates are it's very beneficial for them. For the herbs, they need something to calm the Shan herbs, to calm their spirit, which is can be like lotus seed, longum fruit, lily bulbs, or goji berries. For the physical exercise, these are the people that they tend to have a short span, and they do really well with the short, high intensity training, like because they tend to build muscle really fast. So for them, like high jumping, core exercises, fat speed race is really good. They are definitely not the people that you want to do. They do well with the endurance or marathon. So for them, they need something that it's quick and fast. And design ideas for the fire type will be, bringing candles and the lights in the living space, the fireplace, paintings with red or triangular shapes can definitely emphasize the fire element in our living spaces. I remember when I bought my house. I bought my house from this guy that he was kind of a designer. So I was really happy, because I felt like I didn't want to do so much. I'm not a usually like really very red person, but when my bedroom was really red, and I didn't want to change the color because I felt like he did a really good job. But 2 years later, after I start having this anxiety issues, then insomnia issues, and then I went to check my blood, I went to the acupuncturist. Nobody know what was going on. On the other side, when I go away from my house, when I go to travel or things like that, my sleep was fine. So I didn't understand what was going on with my body. I didn't know so much about like the 5 elements. And one day, one of my friend who was a yogi came to my house, and then I was talking to him about my sleeping issues. And then he looked at my bedroom and he said that, well, I know what your problem is. I think that because your bedroom is red and you have so much heat in your body. And I was just like, I start reading about the 5 elements, and I realized that how much actually our environment affects our emotional state. So that's why I decided that I want to include the design ideas for the body types. And it's important to have the fire element in our body, but like we cannot overdo it. So the next element will be like the earth elements. So everybody usually love the earth elements because they are like the peacemakers. They want everybody to be happy, and they are body types. It's easier to differentiate because they are pear shaped. So they are more rounded on the buttocks, and they are bigger on the on their lower body. So the earth element people and the water element people, they tend to be very similar, but the water element people, they are more introverts, and they tend to gain weight all over their body. The earth element types, they actually gain more on their lower body. So their favorite color is yellow and orange. They are the season which is associated with earth elements is the late summer. Their biggest thing is that they do have issues with the dampness, which is the water circulation in the body. and they tend to like very sweet things. And so like the organ that which is associated with them, the spleen, which is we know as a pancreas, and which is because it's our major organ for our digestive system and your in the stomach. The most beneficial time for them, it's between 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's why it's very important to eat breakfast at this time, because it's like our organs can really digest it well. The emotions that they tend to suffer with is the worry. And they are the people that they are nurturer. They are usually the teachers and the doctors. They're very compassionate. They are great listener. They like to, they're like homebodies, and they love caring and seeking harmony and togetherness in other people. There was a animal for the earth type, where probably it will be like the golden retriever, because they are so loving. And of course that they do have the downfalls too, which is that they take care of everyone and put themselves the last. So it's actually, there was a study done that they tend to get like lots of cancer and all those issues, because they deplete themselves so much. And they can be very sensitive to criticisms, and they want to be involved and needed. So they always want to be appreciated. So these are the people that if you buy them like a present, like you have to make sure that, you are very grateful and thankful. And lots of people, because they are so nice, they might use them as a doormat, and they tend to overthink and worry, and they can be overprotective, and they usually have a slower metabolism. When they are unbalanced, these are the people that they might get like diabetes, digestive issues, like cancer, and then they tend to crave sweets. They sacrifice everything, and they can become extremely selfish, or they can become extremely giving. So none of them is a good quality. So it's just like, it's good to be all in balance. And the tendency, they have a tendency to gain weight in their lower body, and they usually have like the water retention problem in their lower body and circulatory issues. And to balance the water element, these are the people that if they go out of balance, they should go to like have a happy hour, and then connect with people, because for them it's important to tap in their fire element, which is their mother element, and then they can feel appreciated. The earth body types, as I said, that they crave sweets. So since sugar is not the ideal thing, so if they can incorporate in their diets foods that they are more on the sweeter side, they are naturally sweet, they won't have the sweet cravings as much. So things like pumpkin, cinnamon, sweet potatoes, turmeric, oranges and tangerine, persimmon and papaya, honey, sweet potatoes are super important for them. The herbs that they need to take that they can do really well with it is the astragalus, tangerine peel, Poryakers, red dates, ginger, lotus seed, and Phalaenopsis root. For the physical exercise, since I said that they tend to have more like a pear shape, so their strongest part of their body is their legs. And then if they can do exercises that they can use their strongest muscle in their body, but they can activate their upper body, things like aerobic and biking and running and hiking and dancing can be extremely beneficial for them, because this is the people that usually they definitely need the exercise. So aerobics and those kind of exercises they can do really well. And if they have like weight issues, that they can lose it a lot faster. And the design ideas for the earth body types, it will be like they can use clay or ceramic pots, or like soft fabrics like colors. Even for these people, eating in the clay pot or ceramic pot can be super beneficial cooking with them, because they can, this is what their element is. So our last element is like the metal element, and the metal element is, they are just resilient, right? So like as we see in the picture is the Tom Brady, this quarterback, and then he's like a, you know, they usually have really broad shoulders. They tend to have they are smaller on the legs, which is the opposite of the earth elements. And then they do have very defined face features. They have their face is more like square, and then they do have a smaller waist. So their color is like white or light grays, and then their season will be fall, and they do have like issues with their skin most of the time, which will manifest as a dryness or any other thing, but they like itching or eczema, because the lungs are connected with the skin. And then their taste is pungent, and the organs are lung and large intestine, and the most beneficial time for them will be between 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. Their emotion is sadness. They are really like trustworthy, they are dependable, they are the most hard workers, they follow rules, they require a routine. They will always finish a project. You can always depend on, they're very dependable, and they will follow through. They are very strong and silent type. And they see things like everything is black and white for them. Like they don't see grays. The metal element and the wood elements, they can be very similar, but the biggest difference between the metal element and the wood element is that the metal people, they tend to be stuck in their past. So that's why they usually have like depression. The wood element people, they tend to believe in their future. So they might have like more like the anxiety issues. And the metal body type is that their downfalls is that they have difficulties in having close relationship with people. They always constant self-perceive themselves. They don't allow themselves to share their thoughts or feelings. They always have a wall. So it's they might sometimes like they feel lonely and misunderstood. They have a tendency to feeling blue and sad. When they are unbalanced, they can be judgmental, they can be critical, not just about other people, also like critical about themselves. And then they can, lots of people, they might think they are very cold, but in general, they have a very warm heart. They can be depressed, sad, and they kind of live in the past, and they tend to have lots of like immune issues. So to balance them out, it's good to tap to their earth element, which is their mother element, and surround themselves with like really earthy, loving people. For them, grounding is also really important. The metal body type is that the diet is like light yellow or white fruit and vegetables like ginger, cauliflower, onion, garlic, bone broth. Also like kefir and yogurt is really good for them, just because I know that dairy has a really bad name, but since the kefir and yogurt is fermented dairy, it's really beneficial for them, because they need more probiotics than other body types. And then like also pear and black Spanish radish, when they are sick, is or if they have a cold, it's extremely beneficial for them. The best herbs for this body type will be like scallions, ginger, tangerine peel, American ginseng, almonds, apricot seeds, and astragalus. For this body type, the best exercises will be since they have like really broad shoulders, so like their upper body is the strongest, but they do, it's important for them to use their lower body. So exercises that like swimming, when swimming or rock climbing, that they use their upper body and the lower body at the same time, but they can, since their upper body is, they have the strongest muscle, it can be easier for them to do than other body types. So things like running and biking, it's definitely not very beneficial for them, also because they do tend to suffer from like the lung issues. So breathing exercises can really help. If we want to bring like design ideas to our living room, like if we want to be like more organized and more structures, so the metal objects actually in our living space can really help. So the having the metallic finishes and textures is can be really beneficial, or like doing like things that they are more white color, and it's really good. In general, I will always suggest that when we have a plate to food, to have all the 5 different colors. And then the same thing in our living space, that we should have like the water element and the wood element and the metal element and the earth elements in our living space. But if we suffer from one or the 2, we can always take it, you know, a help from the 5 elements. And this actually concludes my presentation. Hopefully it was interesting enough.